ASEAN doesn't want you to see. A crisis ignored for decades, and people erased from history. The Rohingya. And here's what they're not telling you. Yo, what's good, ASEAN people? Welcome to another episode of ASEAN Unfiltered, the podcast where we break down the region's toughest issues without any boring political jargon. I am your host, Marga, and today we're going to tackle a very heartbreaking but very important issue, the Rohingya crisis in Myanmar. We've got seven amazing researchers helping us spill the tea on how ASEAN can really step up their game. Let's go. And now let me introduce to you our guest speakers.
Hi, I'm Arjinaldo, CEO of Mahogany Enterprises. Currently studying Master of Arts in International Humanitarian Action in UK Diliman.
Hi, this is Ramen Bardas, currently taking Bachelor of Arts in Global Studies with Humanitarian Focus, Concordia University, Airport. This is Kevin Alejandro and currently taking Bachelor of Arts in Humanitarian Studies from Fort Hall University.
I am Elamidi Ocho, currently taking Bachelor of Humanitarian Aid and Development in United States University.
Hi, I'm April, currently taking a PhD Development Studies at De La Salle University, focusing on humanitarian response and conflict resolution.
Hello, I'm Giselle Sumunan from University of East London, your Master of Arts in Humanitarian.
Hi, I'm Keith Cabanilla. I'm currently taking my master's degree in Masters of Science and Humanitarian Studies.
Good day, ASEAN people. Today, we're shedding a light on a crisis that's been unfolding for years. One that continues to test the conscience of Southeast Asia. We're talking about the persecution of the Rohingya people in Myanmar. The Rohingya are a Muslim minority who since 1982 have been denied citizenship, leaving them stateless in their own country. Over time, this legal execution turned violent. Villages were burned, families displaced, and more than 700,000 fled to Bangladesh, where they now live in refugee camps like Cox's Bazar. But this isn't just a Myanmar issue anymore. This crisis is rippling across the region, affecting countries like Malaysia and Indonesia, and challenging ASEAN's credibility. And yet, ASEAN has struggled to respond, held back by its policy of non-interference. So, today, we ask some urgent questions. What's really happening in Myanmar? And why should ASEAN take action? Lastly, what can we as a region actually do anything about it?
The Rohingya people are Muslim minority since 1982. It is true of citizenship. So legally, they don't belong. Exactly. And without citizenship, they can access basic rights. Then the violence came, burning villages, killings, sexual assaults, over 700,000 killed to families.
Wow, that's not just conflict, that is basically ethnic cleansing. And now they're cramped up into camps like Cox's Bazar, living in limbo.
And here's the twist, ASEAN isn't taking real action. The non-interference policies will stay out and understand internal affairs even in agriculture.
The crisis in Myanmar is not just a political issue. It is a humanitarian catastrophe rooted in decades of systematic discrimination against the Rohingya. Stripped of citizenship, denial of basic rights, and violently forced from their homes. Over 700,000 now live in overcrowded refugee camps. What's worse, ASEAN principle of non-interference has led to inaction, leaving a gaping void in regional leadership when it's needed most. This is not just a national crisis, it is a regional responsibility.
Number 1. Refrain non-interference. Introduce constructive engagement or flexible approach to human rights issues. Next, build a regional refugee framework. Most ASEAN countries have refugee laws that has been made. Also, ASEAN can use AHA 17 to provide humanitarian relief. Let's show action, not just concern.
We want about economic tools for development aid, for market access, exchange, for reform in Myanmar. True, top external partners like US, UN, Japan voluntarily pressure works better when ASEAN leads.
We should also empower ASEAN's youth and civil society. Raise awareness, educate, and mobilize the next generation.
I love all of that because change doesn't just happen in a conference room. They happen in your house, in classroom, as well as in social media too.
The Rohingya crisis is no longer confined within Myanmar's borders. It is a pressing regional issue that directly challenges ASEAN's stability, credibility, and core values. With member states already feeling the impact through refugee pressures and rising tensions, ASEAN can no longer hide behind the veil of non-interference. If the bloc truly stands for human rights, peace, and regional unity, then it must act, not just as bystanders, but as a united front demanding accountability and longer solutions.
Let's keep it quick. It's hard. Myanmar's military doesn't listen. And in ASEAN, there's disagreement on what action. But that's why we need both leadership. ASEAN doesn't step up. Who will?
Exactly. ASEAN really need to prove that unity isn't just their slogan. It is their responsibility.
The road ahead won't be easy. Myanmar's military remains defiant, and ASEAN itself is divided on how to respond. But these challenges only highlight the need for stronger, more courageous leadership within the region. If ASEAN truly believes in unity, peace, and human rights, then now is the time to turn those values into action. Because in the face of injustice, silence is not neutrality, it's complicity.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of ASEAN Unfiltered. We hope we got you thinking of what ASEAN can and should be. The Rohingya crisis is a test of our values, and we believe that ASEAN still has a chance to rise above, reimagine itself, and lead with coordination. And shout out to my amazing guest speakers. And to everyone listening, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep pushing for peace. This has been Crisis to Cooperation. See you all on the next episode of ASEAN Unfiltered.
Ay, wait day.
Scene 2, take 2. 1, 2,
You know?
Scene 3. Take 1. Okay, ready na. Parang tindog. Ray.
Hi. Gallardo, CEO